Hey, horror fans, welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. The original horror music that you hear in these videos is composed by me. Now imagine being able to save on everyday expenses and put that money towards your next horror movie outing, spooky decor, or haunted carnival excursion. Be sure to watch all the way through as I have something that will help feed your next horror adventures. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
It was August. My girl Cass and I went upstate for a little weekend getaway at my family's rustic home. It has running water, electricity, and a toilet, so we call it luxury camping. The home is very small, about 600 square feet. One bedroom, one pull-out couch in the living room, one bathroom, and a very small kitchen. Despite its remote location, there's lots to do, including archery, shooting, dirt biking, and off-roading.
That sounds kind of fun, doesn't it? Have you ever been luxury camping? I'm not sure I'm familiar with that terminology, unless this person just made it up. But for me personally, I don't have the greatest experiences camping. In fact, the last time I went camping, I was really not feeling good and it was miserable. Oh my god, it was so miserable. And I didn't bring enough water too either, which was stupid. I went with a friend, and the hike back up the trail, it was sort of like mountainish, hillish kind of thing. It was brutal. Like, I thought I was gonna die, honestly, on the way up there. I'm not even exaggerating, but let me know if you've had any cool camping experiences down in the comments below.
We had a whole little itinerary planned for the weekend. Friday, we mostly just unpacked and went out to eat, went grocery shopping, then relaxed. Saturday, we did most of the stuff I just mentioned before, until it started getting really cloudy out, like storm clouds. We also could feel it in the air that a big storm was brewing, so we put all the stuff we took out back into the outbuilding. We put a movie into the DVD player as we cooked dinner. At some point while we were eating, we heard the sudden torrential downpour of rain on the roof of the home. Pretty soon, there were loud, thunderous crashes of lightning almost directly overhead. We both wanted to go sit outside and enjoy it as we ate. We relaxed on the deck outside under the canopy, with an amazing view of the sky. Long bolts of lightning constantly lit up the dark night sky, the thunder booming almost instantly after the lightning strikes. We were right in the heart of the storm. And then, we heard something out in the woods. It was a voice, a loud voice, seemingly calling out something, but it was nowhere near discernible. So the place is really remote, like I said. Hearing any other voices nearby would already set off alarms in normal conditions, but during a storm like this, it was extremely concerning. We had to assume that it was a lost hiker or something.
Yeah, I agree. It would be extremely concerning, wouldn't it? What would you do in that situation? I hope that no one would be stupid enough to help someone lost like this, because in this type of situation, I feel like nothing good can come of helping some random person. So I say screw selfless deeds, especially in situations like this where you can really potentially put yourself in harm's way.
I stepped over to the edge of the deck, getting a little wet as the rain blew in under the edge of the canopy. With the constant crashing of thunder and lightning, there were moments of light in the vicinity that allowed me to see just far enough away to the tree line where the woods began. There was a person out there, clear as day. I told Cass. He instantly freaked out, thinking I was joking and telling me to stop. I considered calling out, asking if they needed help, but decided against it on the grounds that I was kind of scared. This weekend was my idea, though, and I did kind of drag Cass up here. I didn't want to ruin the experience freaking her out. I went back to her and said I think it's a hiker. She asked if we should offer some help, and I said not unless they come knocking on the door. I told her we should go inside, and I nudged her in. I went back over to the edge of the deck just out of curiosity. I got even wetter as I looked around until I spotted something. It looked like a person again, much closer to the deck, like a lot closer, only about 20 feet away now. I continued to look until a quick flash of lightning briefly exposed a man standing there, confirming my suspicion. He was wearing bright colors. It almost looked white. He was just standing still. That was the scariest part. He wasn't even approaching the deck or anything. I went inside and quickly locked the door. Cassidy saw the worry in my face. I felt my heart racing, and I almost felt nauseous. I'm sure I almost stuttered as I said, I don't know who that is. And then I saw the worry in Cass's eyes worsen. I did my best to keep her calm, telling her to expect someone knocking on the door asking for help. I said they probably just need shelter from the storm. I tell you, it was the longest 5 minutes ever, just sitting and listening to the pouring rain and lightning outside, before we felt and heard the footsteps outside on the deck, even over the sound of the storm. The home doesn't have a doorbell, so we expected a knock on the door, but instead, there was this weird shuffling sound on the other side of the lone wooden door. It sounded like attempts at opening it. It was at this point that the worry I had been feeling had peaked. I think I felt an adrenaline rush at this point. Cass was already in the bedroom, hiding at this point, and she was quietly calling for me to come. The noises at the door stopped, but there was never a single knock. I went to the bedroom and told Cass to just remain quiet. I'll be back in the room in a second.
Yeah, this would be super unsettling. And I would be very scared. I'm not going to lie in this type of situation. I would be very scared. And I felt like if I had to, I would definitely do some damage. Like, I sort of have, I'm kind of an angry person sometimes, definitely. Like, I definitely have some anger issues. And I feel like I could take all that anger and really do some damage if I actually needed to. Obviously, if it doesn't call for it, I can hold my composure and calmness if I need to. But yeah, I feel like I could definitely use some of that anger that I have to really do some damage if something like this ever happened. But this also feels like the movie The Strangers, doesn't it? And I feel like it does feel a lot like that movie. I haven't seen that movie in forever, by the way, but I remember it being a pretty good movie. And maybe I'll revisit it at some point. But yeah, this kind of feels like the movie The Strangers. Let me know if you've ever seen that movie in the comments below.
I wanted to look out the window. I went back to the living room and turned off the lamp. I took a second to just breathe before yanking the curtain open. I looked out the window and I saw the white figure of the man running away from the window and quickly disappearing. I didn't know what was going on. I hoped that they ran away for good. To be safe, I went to the kitchen window and looked out. This one didn't have a curtain or blinds. I realized about halfway to the window that there was a face on the other side. I could see it even through the blur created by the rain on the window. I yelled at the top of my lungs, "Yo, go away," trying to sound scary. They didn't move. Now, when I say this, I know it sounds incredibly cliche, but we don't have Wi-Fi in the home, and the cell reception is very on and off. During a storm like this, there was no reception at all for either of us. There was my dad's rifle under the bed in the bedroom, though. I left the kitchen and hurried to the bedroom, where Cass was sitting in the bed biting her nails on edge. I grabbed the rifle under the bed from its case, since we hadn't yet taken it out. There was a magazine already loaded with rounds, thankfully, so I popped the mag in the rifle. Doing this in front of Cass obviously meant I was no longer sugarcoating what was going on, but it didn't matter, because there was suddenly a bang at the bedroom window. Something was either thrown or someone straight up banged their hand on it. And then a second later, there was a bang from another window out in the living room or kitchen. It was more than one person. This had gone far enough at this point.
Yeah, this is getting creepier and creepier for sure. And it's sounding more and more like The Strangers, too, honestly. And while I don't remember every detail of that movie, just like the general premise of people trying to break into someone's home and do unspeakable things, yeah, it's real right now what these people are going through. And I think that this guy is trying to handle it the best that he can, and kudos to him because I think there are some people in this type of situation that would completely break down.
I told Cassidy to wait in the bedroom. I went to the front door and positioned myself to be ready to potentially fire at anyone on the other side of the door should they rush me. I quietly unlocked the door, and when I was close enough to mentally ready, I yanked the door open and drew my rifle up, pointing at the door. No one was there, and so I hurried outside with adrenaline controlling my actions and spun around quickly to ensure no one was on the deck. Then I went to the stairway and looked down, and there was that guy in bright-colored clothes standing where he was before outside the window, apparently trying to look scary. He looked up at me. He already knew I was outside, but I doubt he knew I had a gun. I shot the rifle into the air, and I heard the guy yell in a deep voice, "Oh shit," as he ran away into the darkness. I heard at least two fading yelling voices likely communicating to each other, and then it was just the sound of the storm again. I don't know how many people were out there. At least two, maybe even three. It could have been teenagers playing some fucked up prank, or it could have been some really messed up people trying to scare us and break in. I don't play around like that though. If anyone came up that deck while I was outside, I would have shot them dead. They were not there seeking help, and that is a 100% certainty. The next day was Sunday, so we packed up and left. There were no signs of anything having been done to my car or the home or anything from the night before. I made sure to lock everything up and take anything of particular value home this time. Out of all the years of my family owning the place, that was the only encounter like this any of us had ever had. It really put a bad taste in my mouth about the place and being in an isolated place. I've been up there a few times since with my family, but I would never, ever go alone.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to press the pause there really quick. But yeah, I thought this was definitely a really creepy story. And honestly, I don't blame the guy at all for wanting to shoot the guy dead if he had gotten on the porch, because at that point it is self-defense. And if they're gonna try to send you to jail for self-defense, that is just completely jacked up, in my opinion. But you have a right to defend yourself, and these people are assholes, complete assholes, for trying to screw with these people like that. And whether or not they meant any harm, it's kind of hard to say, or if it was just some kind of screwed up prank. But either way, this guy handled it really well, and I'm sort of against guns. Like, I don't really like them. They kind of make me uncomfortable. How do you feel about that? But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about guns, because I personally don't like them and they make me feel uneasy to own one. But if you are in a situation like that, that is totally self-defense. But I thought this was definitely one of the better stories on Mr. Nightmare's channel as well. These are actually all really good creepy stories, the Thunderstorm one. So, yeah. I hope you enjoy my commentary and the music, and be sure to check out the pinned comment below, because I have something that will help you start saving money and making more money for your next horror adventures and activities, because I know how strained people are financially right now, and this opportunity really is great for just saving more money in general on the things that you already buy. So definitely check the pinned comment below, and I will see you in the next video.